when I finally was ready to date, I was like, I don't need anything but somebody that I know will help me grow in the areas I need to grow, challenge me to be my best self, love me, and nurture me, where I need nurtured, and who I can lend my gifts to so that collectively we can really show up in this world in a great way. Y'all, when I tell you, that is not how I was dating at 22, at all. I was like, I need someone who like I can like do dishes with, and who like when we buy a house, it was just like weird. It was more like perfunctory. It was odd. So all that being said, when I first separated from my marriage, and unexpectedly so, I remember thinking to myself, oh boy, I'm trying not to like tear up, I guess. I don't know. I remember when I left, I remember thinking no one would ever want me. And feeling like, it was even a thought, I should stay in this marriage because no one's going to want me because I'm old and I have 3 kids. And I like have a divorce under my belt. And maybe I should just stay where I am because who's to say that I'm even going to find anyone, and it almost, I a couple chats back, I talked about how, dealing with the mom guilt around divorce is really hard, and that how that alone can keep you in a relationship that doesn't serve you or the world, and this was one of the things that I thought would kind of, I was like, I don't know if I want to leave because what if I can't find anything ever and I'll just be alone. And even when I was forced to go, I really quickly had to accept, like, look, like maybe it's okay if you're alone, as long as you have peace and as long as you're safe and as long as your kids are there. Like, I'll always have my kids, always, and as long as you're able to do work that's meaningful. And, maybe like, I'm not kidding, y'all, like, and maybe some of this sounds familiar, maybe it doesn't, but like, maybe love just isn't for you. Maybe that is a thing that is just like people talk about, and it's just not a real thing, kind of like a unicorn thing, or, it's like a fairy tale concept, or maybe people are hyping it up, but it's not all of that, and so, and that's okay, just do you. Like, I'm still a happy person, and I still feel love, in a platonic way and in a parental way and in a familial way, so maybe romantic love just isn't something that's going to be in the cards for me. And that was something that I actually had to accept first as part of my healing process, because then it allowed me to realize I needed to focus very much on me. Like, what type of life would I build if romantic love wasn't part of it? And that is something that I just want to throw out there so that, for those of you guys who are saying to yourself, because my first thought was, I will never get married again. I will never have another part. And this is apparently divorce 101. Like, the minute you get out of it, you're like, I'm never doing this again. Like, that is just a very standard feel. Like, why would I ever want to even tie myself to anyone ever again? So that was so me. Also, I was just physically exhausted, mentally exhausted. I was ill. I was sick. I talk about this in episode 1. My face was paralyzed. My blood pressure was soaring. Like, my body was breaking down. So, the last thing on my mind was dating. So once I finally started bouncing back a little bit and building out a new routine, the next thing that happened that I started doing was just really, again, loving myself. And loving myself meant in this, it's kind of sad to say, but in the base form, going to doctor's visits and eating well and exercising and doing yoga 3 times a week. And I just want you to know that it is not, I always like to throw out this caveat. It is not lost on me that I am very privileged in having the ability to recover from and during this transition the way that I have. Not everyone has the money, the flexibility, the ability, the space, the time, older children. All of these things are privileges, some of which I've worked to earn, but some of which were afforded to me by my place in society, my stature, what have you, So I'm not speaking any of this from a place of, this is what everyone should do and it's easy. It's not. These are just the cards that I had in front of me, and I'm fortunate that I got to play them. But that said, I was able to really just double down. Like, obviously still, got a mom, got to work, all of those things. But in between all of that, I discovered that I like to snowboard, and I learned how to roller skate, and I, went to yoga classes, and I lost another 22 pounds because for the first time in my life, I'm gymming regularly. And I've discovered things like, for 12 years, I didn't eat Mediterranean food because in the very beginning of our relationship, it was sort of determined that we don't like Mediterranean food. But then I discovered I really love a good falafel, and then just I really got to spend time asking myself, how do I want to show up in this world if a partner is not going to be in the cards for me? And I spent months doing this. Like, actually not, it's probably the better part of a year, just saying I'm going to be alone, possibly forever. So better like the person that I'm with. And if that's going to be me, then I'm going to be the best me.